Alright, today I've got another project I'm going to start right now. It's my son's BMW 2005 330i. It's got 189,000 miles on it. And the transmission decided to start slipping and went into fail-safe mode. I plugged the computer into it and said one of the packs was having problems, so I guess it's time. It's leaking all over anyways, so it's time to pull it out. I got lucky. I was programming a key for a BMW for a guy, and we were talking about his car, and he was pulling the automatic transmission out and putting a stick shift in it, and it was the same year, same model car. So I ended up buying the transmission off him. Alright, first thing we have to do is pull this exhaust off. I'm going to spray some PV blaster on those nuts there and the studs to see if hopefully they'll come off easier. So we'll pull the exhaust out, pull these two braces off right here. Looks like the rest of it will just pop off of hangers. Got a hanger up here, if I can pre-spray that. Once we get the exhaust off, then we have to pull this, I guess it's a heat shielding material off the tunnel. Because the drive shaft is behind that. Then we'll pull the drive shaft, and we'll kind of go from there. We're going to have to pull this front plate, this belly pan here, we'll pull that out of the way. And I guess we'll start with that. So we'll get that done, and we'll kind of reassess and see what to get with the hook next. Instead of popping this out of the rubber, I just unbolted the bracket for it. That'll make that easier. Looks like I have a vacuum line here. Nice. Look at that, it just turned into like gum. We'll have to change that before we go back together with it. That's a stupid vent they have. Close off half the exhaust so we can keep the exhaust hotter, so we can make the catalytic converter work better. So we can pretend to make the air cleaner. What's holding this thing now? I don't know. We'll set the camera down and let's get a grip on it. Alright, we got that down. Boy, I hate to have to buy one of those. Imagine what that would cost. About 120 pounds of stainless steel. So this is what was holding it. There's another bracket right here. Really hard to get to it. You can't really see it. So I was able to get in there with a bar and just pry it off. So next I'll pull this heat shielding off of here, off the tunnel, so we can get the drive shaft out. Last time I did one of these BMW transmissions, it was before I had my lift here in the shop. So 6 bolts here on the flex kit. Front, there's hanger, 2 hanger nuts to pick up the center hanger, and then there's about 6 bolts here on the rear. Say you're supposed to change these Flexplate Bolts and nuts anytime you have to remove them. But in case of nuts, there's nothing wrong with the bolt. But the nuts are a lock nut whenever you have any kind of a lock nut, especially a steel lock nut. And then if we look here on the CV joint here, I think it's a CV joint, it usually is on these. They have those stupid, I don't know what those things are called, but it's like almost like a reverse Torx kind of a bolt. And I have a set of sockets for those, but not exactly sure where all of them are because I rarely use them, and it's one of those bolts I just don't have a whole lot of respect for, so I really don't take good care of the tooling for it. I use them so rarely. Ah, that's it right there. I'm just going to go ahead and use the adapter and just go with the 1/2-inch impact on this, since I can't find the adapter for the little small gun. One thing that's a pain with this flex disc, they have a spud sticking out of the drive shaft, and it goes into the yoke. And I know what it's for. You know, if this flex disc goes bad, the drive shaft isn't going to go crazy, beating everything up. But it's a real pain in the butt because you can never just sneak the drive line out. Because you don't have the clearance ever to do that. Looks like I need to pull the other 3 bolts off the flex disc. Good. Before I put it together, I'm going to check out this. Yeah, it looks like that's about. I don't know if it's shot or if it just needs lube, but these CV joints go out on the back of these. Sometimes when you put them in gear, you go into reverse, you go into forward, you hear like a creaky noise, and that's usually this CV joint right here. It's dry. And, yeah, this one's definitely gone out. I'll have to take it apart and look. Hopefully I can just lube it up, clean it up real good with the ultrasonic cleaner, and we can lube it. If not, I'm going to get a joint. Stuff flaking out of it, but I think it's just the old lube. So with 190,000 miles, I mean, it's to be expected. So it does have a lot of power. It's a performance car, so it's not just a little Toyota that's putting around, you know. 30 horsepower to the wheels. So here's the rear cross member right here. It's aluminum cross member. It's got the rubber mounts here. Well, let's check those out when we get it apart. But that'll be next. We'll pull the shield off, put the transmission jack under here, and then we can unbolt this cross member. The rear, I guess it's the rear transmission mount. We'll get that out, and then we'll pull this pan off. And then we can start undoing the flex plate, the torque converter bolts, and then we can do the bell housing bolts, and we'll slide this thing out. Well, we'll have to pull the cooler lines off too, and the shift linkage. And then there's one electrical connector back here, but it's literally 2 seconds to take it off, so it's hardly worth mentioning. But here's that spud I was talking about. So that goes through the flex joint and into the drive shaft itself. So I guess it's a safety thing or whatever. It's a good thing, but I hate it. This has been a really good car. Son bought it, I don't know how many years ago. He crashed this other one. He had a 325i, a 2003 325i. I just finished going through everything. You know, we did the transmission, new tires, new brakes, rotors, fixed all the leaks on it, everything in the car. And then rear ended somebody. Barely did any damage. But the insurance company called it full. So, that was down to 2005, San Juan, California. It's been a great car. Not technically very much. Had 150,000 miles on it when we bought it. Now it's at 190, so we put 40,000 miles on it. And he's not the easiest on cars. You know, he's 22 years old. You know, that, you know, boys that age, young men that age can be into a car. And, it's been really good. Trouble free. So this transmission. Pretty heavy transmission. I was surprised picking up the old one when I bought it off the guy. It feels like it weighs, I don't know, it felt like it weighed over 150 pounds to me. So pretty stout. A lot going on in that training. It's, I think, if you're wrong, I think it's a 6-speed. It's a guibo joint. That's what they call it, a guibo joint. I don't know why. But definitely tend to replace that while we're in here. I'm sure some of you noticed I'm using a chrome socket on an impact. It's not a big deal. I can do it up here. Plus, I got my new safety sticker. Let me show you my new safety sticker real quick. See if I can find it. Yeah, I got to find out where to mount this in the shop. So I have my safety squints engaged, so I'm safe. Don't worry about me. And using a chrome socket on an impact, always have your safety squints engaged. Show you, to get to the Flexplate bolts in the torque converter, there was this rubber plastic plug or whatever was in the side up here. And it looks like that's where we have to go to. That's our port there. Yeah, here comes one of the bolts right there, going right into view. I'll have to see if I can put together a socket. So yeah, I got it in there. I think it's 15 millimeter or something like that. I don't have a 15 millimeter wobble socket, so I tried 11/16 and that fit. I got it out. Of course, it fell into the bell housing here, so it's laying in there somewhere. But that's not a big deal. I'll get that out. As long as it doesn't fall on me when I'm going back together. That's the big problem. I have to be very careful when I'm going to put them back in. Alright, so we got our turning tool, and yes, this is a turning tool. It is a pry bar, it's not a screwdriver. I spent so many years looking at Snap-on screwdrivers that said not to be used as a pry bar or chisel. Of course, we never did, no. Using my flashlight, and it fell in the bell housing as well, so oh well, a few parts falling out more. Let me go to pull this transmission out. You know, this isn't bad only having 3. When I pull the on a Caterpillar rock trucks, on some of my rock trucks, the smaller ones, the 35 ton, they have a flex plate. Most Caterpillar equipment doesn't. It has a spider that slides into the flywheel. But these have a flex plate, and they have, I think it's 8 or 10 bolts, and it is a real pain in the butt to turn that Cat 3406 engine around. They give you a tiny little hole, just big enough for, and it's in their Allen head, so they give you just enough room for the Allen socket to get in there. You have to have it right on to get it in there, and all I can say is they're a real pain in the butt. So this makes this a dream for me, actually. Now we just got to get the bell housing bolts and cooler lines, and that's, I think, about it. Transmission down. That was as low as it would go. I just bumped my head twice in a row. And fortunately, I found the right sockets. This takes those weird sockets as well. And I think I have all the sizes I need. And I have this really cool extension. It's a one piece. It's going to be about almost 4 foot long. 1/2 inch drive on the female end, going the impact. 3/8 male on the other end. And it fits my sockets perfectly. Oh man. I'm looking up there now, and it looks like I have a bolt coming from the other direction. It's probably holding the starter. Another one here on the side, that's, you know, the bigger one right there by that GM tag. The smaller one, another smaller one, another smaller one, another bigger one. And another bigger one up here. I could probably get that with the extension I have now. What a pain in the butt. Okay, I've got all the top ones that I can get. Here's that extension I was babbling about earlier. Yeah, they had a nice extension. I think it's Mac or Snap-on. Snap-on. Okay, that bolt up top that I thought might be a dowel, it is a dowel. I started pulling these small bolts out, and when I got this one out up here, you can see that the transmission split a little bit, so she's just dying to come out. Looked up on this side, I didn't see any more up there. I just have one more bolt up near the top and these cooler lines. So I'm gonna go ahead and get something on here to catch oil. I'll get this bolt out of here for the cooler line manifold right there. And then I will get my long impact up on that top bolt way up there. And we should be good to go. I need to get this bracket off too. Let me pull that up right now. And then we should have this thing out of here in just a few minutes. It's one nice new tool that I just got. I had another one before that was made by DeWalt. I broke it, I tore it out. I just got this new one, it's a 90 degree. It doesn't have a lot of power when you go through that, but if you loosen it first, you can get this up on there and get those hard to reach bolts. Thing we want to do is we want to make sure the torque converter comes with the transmission. Okay, if you pull it off and the torque converter stays on the flywheel when you do it, you get a bunch of oil. There we go. Okay, now it's separated from the flywheel. Yes, need to see what's going messed up. I guess I should have watched some YouTube videos on this to see how it comes out. Just a dowel. There it goes. The starter was sitting on a dowel. It goes in the transmission. And they were bound up together. You know, I love German cars, but let's put it this way, I hate all engineers. It. Just going to get this thing off the trans jack tonight. I'm not going to bother putting it until later in the week. I'm going to have to order a couple of parts. I'm going to get that engine oil cooler line that we saw. I didn't even think about it, but I'm going to try to exhaust gaskets. I'll have to look back in the video. There's something. Oh, the flex joint. I'm going to have to get a flex joint for it. So I get my son out here to clean it up and get the belt under cleaned up, get the new tranny cleaned up, and take it out, pressure wash it, you know, get it ready to go, get the old flex joint stuff off of it. So we'll back in just in a few days.